Welcome, everyone, to episode 6 of the World Review. This is the best New York City restaurants. And we're going to be speaking to Jay, who's what you would call a foodie or maybe a practitioner chef. Remember to subscribe or hit the like button on YouTube. And you can listen to us on Spotify and on SoundCloud. And follow us on social media at the World Review. And for all the latest episodes, go to theworldreview.com. All right, so we got Jay with us, and he is what is called, I guess, what would you call yourself, a foodie or a chef practitioner? What would you,
Not even chef practitioner, man. Just a foodie, just an enthusiast. I guess that's the right
a
word I would
food
use here.
enthusiast, a food
Yeah.
enthusiast, and why is food important other than eating it? What is,
Culturally, man, culturally, it's important,
yeah,
right? I mean, we look at food as just, I know some people just look at food as like, oh, I'm just gonna put something in my stomach. But if you look at food from a cultural standpoint, it's something that brings people together, right? I mean, I go back to, like, I was born and raised in India, right? So, I mean, for us, food was like a thing that, like, your entire family got together and you sat down together and you had food, and it was an everyday thing, right? So, I mean, the food is something that, even the simplest stuff, right? It's something that kind of brought the family together, brought friends together. And you know what? To be honest with you, like, this is just coming from experience. If you want to break bad news to people, do it over food.
do it over food? And a lot of business deals are done over food, and it's just,
Some big deals are done over food, you know. So it's a it's
yeah,
a it's a great thing to talk about, and it's a great thing to be excited and passionate for, right? I mean, it's not just about putting something in your stomach, but about really thinking about what you're eating and
right,
being
right, right,
passionate about it. So,
right.
but hey, man, look, thanks for having me on the show. Appreciate it. I've heard a lot of good things, so I'm kind of excited.
Yeah,
This should
this
be
is,
should be fun.
I try to bring the experts in, and they do most. I mean, I wouldn't consider myself a foodie, but the other end of the spectrum is are people who just eat fast food. And food is not important. They got to eat, but it's just McDonald's or KFC, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's just, but one, it's unhealthy. It's not healthy to eat that way. It's cost
Exactly.
efficient, which is good. It's at probably, well, I don't know what it costs for a supermarket and cook your own, but if they're always on the go. But if food is not important to someone, that's fine. Um, I just feel you're not really exploring different, like you said, different cultures.
Exactly.
You sort of got, and when you travel, that's going to also give you exposure into different types of cuisines and places to eat.
Yeah, exactly. And that's one of the things that makes a culture, right? Like, if you travel, like, I was in Italy in 2019, right before the whole COVID thing happened,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm telling you, I mean, that culture, Italy is defined by food. I mean, they take their food very, very seriously. I
Very
mean,
serious.
I was in Modena, which is like a center of Parmigiano Reggiano, and the prosciutto. And I was there, and I'm telling you, the city of Modena is what, about 150 years
Hmm.
old, something like 50, 150 years old. The tradition, the gastronomic, excuse me, traditions are hundreds of years old. Sometimes some of these things are thousands of years old. So, I mean, you have the restaurants, but I mean, in Indian cultures, very similar to Italian cultures. You ask someone where's the best place to eat food, it's your grandma's kitchen. I mean, that doesn't change. So, Italians and Indians, we have a lot of these in common, and so do other cultures too. Like,
Hmm.
if you look at Chinese and Japanese cultures,
Sure, food is important.
it's exactly. I mean, and it's not just food; it's food cooked by their mothers or grandmothers, or
Hmm.
the family. The family food is they prefer that more over, say, a restaurant. But I mean, look, nowadays restaurants are also becoming very, very uh comfortable places to eat.
Hmm.
And so, I mean, and they offer the kind of cuisine that truly takes you back in time. So so
Yeah, and this it's interesting because and not to bash Americans because I was born in this country, but when you
sure.
think, like you said, about European culture and food, and then food in India and in Asia, the rest of Asia, even in the Middle East, but and South America, and then you think about America,
Hmm.
there's a culture here which and definitely embraces that. I do, you do, but there's a culture here in America that doesn't, and it's all about
Sure.
just fast food
Exactly.
and just and not that there's no wrong or right in food except what is healthy and unhealthy. But
Right.
why is it that is it Americans that are the only ones who will make that decision to say, yes, I want to be more cultured in food, and then the ones that say, no, food's not important. I just want to eat, and that's all I care about. I like eating fast food, and I don't care.
Sure. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like I'm sure you have too, and I've had fast food too, and you know, it's
Mhm.
sometimes it's delicious, right? But I mean, if you just look at the cost, right? I mean, if you can get a hamburger at McDonald's, nothing against McDonald's, but you can get a hamburger for $1.50. You can't get a head of cauliflower for under $2, right? So like,
Mhm.
yeah, when you look at the comparison, you're like, well, it's not just that you have fast food and it's quick, but it's also efficient, right? It's cheaper. It's a lot
Yeah,
cheaper to get fast food. That being said, I think, yeah, to your point, generally things that are fast aren't healthy. So I think this country that people accept that trade-off easily, whereas European countries they don't. Indian and other places, Japanese, Chinese, and other Asian cultures, they don't accept lower quality just because it's a little bit cheaper. So
Mhm.
they value that quality, and I think our generation and the generations that will follow will also value quality rather than just quantity and price, because they're starting to understand that, hey, what you put in your body is just as important as what you how much you pay for it. So it's a um I think that trade-off is sort of being balanced, and I think restaurants are starting to understand that, and some of the restaurants that we're going to talk about today, right, on this episode,
Mhm.
uh place value on quality. So
Quality.
that's one of the reasons, and again, quality and the price point. So they offer great quality at a fantastic price point. So you really can't just you just can't go wrong with that.
Yeah, and you know what? Even if diners, let's say, aren't fast food, fast as McDonald's, it's still pretty expensive even to eat in a diner today, at least in New York
Oh,
City.
definitely, yeah. I mean, you go to diner, you're not gonna get out without spending what, 30, $40, maybe
Yeah,
$50,
yeah.
easily. I mean,
It's I know. It's so anyway, what let's say, what would you say is your ethnically is your if you had to rank the top three favorite food to eat from a culturally like ethnic, what are the
mm,
top three
well, let's not name restaurants. I'll just tell you the of course,
types of
I'm
food? Yeah.
exactly. So I'm Indian. I love Indian food, obviously. I mean,
Okay.
that there are things, and if you look at culturally, right? I mean, we have something called roti, which is based. It's a bread. It's a thin
Okay.
bread,
Right.
right? That you eat with vegetables and other soups and things like that. Um, if and again, I'm not gonna draw an exact parallel, but every culture has something similar to it. Something made out of flour, water, salt, and yeast, and you get this thing. In Italian cultures, you have pizza. In Latin American cultures, you have tortillas. So yeah, these these foods transcend the cultures. And
Mhm.
for me, Indian food, of course, I place heavy emphasis on. I grew up eating it, and a lot of times when I cook, the smell of something or when I taste it, it kind
Mhm.
of a lot of times, doesn't happen every time, but sometimes it brings me back to like
Sure.
my
Sure.
childhood.
Sure.
My grandmother used to make this roti bread from
Right.
scratch, and I was sitting under the counter, and she would feed it to me, fresh from you know freshly made bread, and she would feed it to me with her hands. So those memories form my childhood. So Indian food is of course top of the list. The next up, and you might not be surprised here because you've known me for a couple of years, couple of years now. But I love Italian food. I love Italian food.
Mhm.
Homemade pasta. Oh my God, the tortellini. We're talking. Of course, pizza is universal, and every culture has its own variation of pizza. But Italian food is very similar to Indian food. It's kind of free form. Things aren't really not necessarily measured like French food. Everything is measured and
Mhm.
precise. Italian, Indian food, Spanish food the same way. It's very free form. You kind of you play it by the year, and you kind of you're not so stringent on a recipe, but uh, you know, th- you know, Italian cultures, Indian food, Italian food, even Spanish food. Our cultures are so old. Same thing with Chinese and Japanese, that things aren't always written down. So I mean, there are recipes that I know today, Indian recipes that were passed down from my great grandmother, right, or my great grandfather.
Right, right, right.
So and these things aren't written down. I mean, nobody writes these recipes. I
So
asked my
you're sort of embedded in the culture.
Exactly. I asked my mother, I'm like, how did you make this? She's like, I don't know. You stand next to me and I'll tell you. You can see, but
Right.
I don't have a
It
written
becomes
recipe.
secondhand. Exactly.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
Italy, when we think about Italian food, we think of the different regions in Italy. For example,
Sure.
like you mentioned, Parma cheese, Tuscany wine, Genoa salami. They're known for maybe their different specialties. In like Sicily, you've got a lot of seafood in the coast. And
Sure.
Naples is usually the type of food where you think of like tomato sauce and macaroni, and so all of these different regions together represent more of the specialties, but altogether they're a culmination of food that sort of crosses like even regional bounds.
Definitely. Definitely. I mean, take India for instance, right? It was ruled by the Mongols, then it was ruled by the British. So, I mean, if you look at Indian cuisine, the roti bread that I mentioned is a Persian thing. It's not an Indian thing.
Oh,
Same thing with tea. Tea is not Indian. It's British. And
okay.
a lot of people like when you have foods like oh, the classic chicken tikka masala. People think that, oh, that's an Indian thing. That's actually not. It's a British thing. Um, so it's a lot of like Italy is the same way. There's so many migrants that there's so many cultures to sort of overlap and they form their own. They have their own take on food and cuisine. So it's in the end what you and I taste today. It's not a one thing. It's not one culture. It's a it's a layer of cultures that we're tasting today, and every culture that kind of took the food from the prior culture, the prior society or generation, put their own spin on it, right? And then I think what we're gonna do end up doing is we're gonna take whatever we have, it's been passed down to us, and we're gonna put our own spin on it, right? So I mean that's just how I mean. I'm first generation American, right? So I what the food I cook is part Indian, part American, part Italian, part So it's my kids are gonna grow up eating food that isn't just gonna be Indian or American or Italian. It's gonna be a combination of things. So
Cross culture.
cross culture,
Yeah.
exactly. That's what I'm looking for.
What
Yeah.
and what would be the third favorite?
Mm, that's a good question. That's a toss up. That's a toss up
You mentioned
between.
Spanish food. You meant or personally, my favorite is Mexican food. That's just and
That's
Spanish food.
exactly. So I love Mexican food. I have a couple of restaurants that I'm going to talk to you about today. Mexican food, one of my favorites. But Mexican food is fantastic. So for me, it would be between Mexican and Asian. And I mean, when I say Asian, I mean like
Different Asian cultures or fusion.
Japanese,
Yeah.
exactly, Japanese and
Okay.
Chinese. So
Now, when you go to a restaurant, other than, of course, the food itself, what are some of the things you look for, other than, of course, the taste of the food and the quality?
when I go out, right, other than taste and the quality, is the ambiance, right? I mean, you want to feel comfortable when you go out. I mean, the last thing I want to do when I go out is be stiff and because when you go to some restaurants, they have rules. It's like, oh, you have to dress a certain way. You have to, there here are the courses of meals that we're going to serve you, and you're bound to them. You don't have much of a flexibility. I like to just go to a restaurant, relax, sit down, have a few drinks, order something, preferably something that isn't on the menu. Don't stick to the rules. Give me something unexpected. I like to be surprised, JC. That's the thing, right? I mean, I think that's the one word I would use that most restaurants nowadays lack is element of surprise. Surprise me, surprise my palate. I don't just feed me the same thing.
Right, right. Well, one of the things you'll probably ask, the first thing is like, what are the specials? What's new?
Exactly.
That's important.
Exactly. But the thing is, a lot of times the specials are what's on the menu. I like to know what's not on the menu. What are you eating as a chef that you are not feeding me,
I
right?
see.
Because
I see.
so
When you talk about ambience, though, like, of course, it's important. You want to eat. You don't want to eat in a trash dump, but I mean, is it because of the company you're with? Like, if you date, obviously, ambience is important. I call
Correct.
it close the deal ambience. You know what I mean?
I know
Because,
what you mean.
you know,
I
if
know what you
you
mean.
take some girl to a crappy restaurant, don't look too good, you know?
Exactly, exactly. I mean, one of my favorite restaurants that I have been on a lot of dates, and I mean JC, and then before the COVID hit, we got, I went on. I'm not. Let's not go into the numbers here, but I went on a lot of dates. Okay, one of the restaurants I went to was Barrio Chino, right? This is a restaurant in Lower East Side, uh, and it's a Mexican restaurant. It's tacos and margaritas. You really can't go wrong with it because it's one of those foods. Tacos is something you can eat very quickly, right? I mean, you get two tacos in a thing and you eat it, and then you're off you go. So you have a couple of margaritas. So not a big spot. They have what I want to say about 10 tables.
10 tables, okay.
Ten
And, and
tables.
and what's the reason for the Bill Murray picture? Is there some significance there?
I'm not too sure actually. I think they just updated this website.
Okay.
I don't know if Bill Murray's been there. I haven't seen any of his pictures hanging there. But
I, I mean, I like it because it spells different. It's not like, if I see this, I'm like, other than the name, I don't know it's Spanish or Mexican or.
it's actually funny because the ambiance there, right? And going back to ambiance, it's if you look at the name Barrio Chino, they have Chinese lanterns in there, right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's weird, but it's Mexican food, which
Hmm.
is like amazing. And the beauty of this is, right? You have 10 tables, the wooden tables, nothing fancy, right? No tablecloth. I hate tablecloth. Don't give me tablecloth. Like just serve it to me on the table in a plate. Keep it simple, but keep it delicious.
Okay.
Um, I mean, the service is fantastic. You get attention. Attention to detail is very important. The food is presented really well, and the drinks are outstanding. I mean, if you look at their tacos, their pescado and pollo are outstanding tacos. Um,
This is
they do
definitely
an.
on my list then, because this
You
is right
have
up
to
my
go.
right up my alley.
Oh my God, it's great. I mean, unfortunately, the COVID has really kind of shook things. I feel bad for these restaurants. Like COVID has
I
shook a
know.
lot of restaurants. I mean,
Well, I think the timing in this
it's
podcast is good because now that the restaurants are opening up,
exactly.
it's a really good. People want to get out. You mentioned, okay, so ambience, okay, obviously food. What other things are important? That I mean, I know, of course, service. The
Service.
services,
Exactly,
yeah,
exactly.
because
And look, I mean, you. Here's the thing with the fine balance with service, right? You want attention. You don't want to have to like ask someone 3 times before you get something, or you want to wait 15 minutes just to get a drink. But at the same time, you don't want someone coming to you every 2 minutes either, right? So these guys really balance that extremely well. Someone will walk by, really chill, young crowd. They'll walk by, you know, pre-COVID, they'll just walk by and say, "Hey, you doing all right? You need anything? You good? You want another drink?" They notice that you're kind of, finishing your drink. You might want another one, so that by the time you finish that one, you'll have the next one. That timing is so important, right? Because I don't want to wait. Like, just don't keep me waiting. Um,
especially waiting for the check, that's terrible.
exa- exactly, right? And especially if I'm on a date, I want to get out. I want to
Yeah,
get out of the restaurant.
yeah, I got some things to do, and
Exactly, exactly.
what? How many times have you been to? And have you been to this place with friends or a date or both?
Oh man, I've been to this place. You're not gonna believe this. I've been to this place with family, with cousins, like a cousins brunch, and the brunch is fantastic. I've been on this date, and I've been to this place on dates, multiple dates. This is usually my first date spot, actually. Uh, and I've been, to be honest, I've been here by myself too. Sometimes I just want a taco and a margarita. I'll just go sit there. This is the time when the bar section was open. You sit there, you talk to the bartender, you have
Hmm.
great food, you have some great drinks. They make you, here's why I love this place. They make you feel comfortable.
At
They
home,
make you feel, exactly, they make you feel at home. They don't make you feel like, oh, you're here by yourself.
or
Listen,
rushing you out or something like that.
exactly.
Yeah.
You can sit there for 2 hours, you can sit there for 30 minutes, you'll have great experience.
Now,
No doubt every
how long
time.
has this place been around?
Oh Jesus, this place has been around for a while. Actually, the reason I found this place, I was looking at, I was like, oh, some of the top, I was like the top margarita restaurants or bars in New York City, and this is one of the top 10 or top, I think, top 20 restaurants um, in the city when it comes to like tacos and margaritas. And when you go, you wouldn't think about it because it's so easy to get reservations. Um, but actually now they take reservations. They didn't used to. Before, you just go in, put your name down, go across the street, grab a few beers, and then come back. Um, but it's been around for a little while. The chef here is actually a pretty famous chef. Um, I don't know. I don't. Maybe there's an about section here that we can take a look. But the chef is a pretty well known guy, and he has a few restaurants. But this is one of the like one of the really good ones. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, man, it's a hell of a restaurant.
I, I've never been here, but I am frequent to the Broom Street Bar. I don't know if you've ever been there, which is probably right near here. It's like my place after hours, like 3 a.m. staggering out like a bunch of hobos kind of place. But I've never been here, and I'll probably put this first on my list because Mexican food is sort of my favorite.
Yeah, put
All
this,
right.
and you know what? And while we're at it, put Los Tacos Numero Uno on your list as well.
Okay. That sounds good.
Los Tacos Numero Uno. Go to the one in Chelsea Market. It's not fancy at all. I promise you, it is not fancy at all. As a matter of fact, you're gonna have to grab your tacos. You're gonna have to step outside.
Okay.
But oh my God, you get the tacos. You get the you get one of the drinks that they have there, and it's like, man, get the hibiscus drink. It's like super awesome. Um, but yeah, it's
What would
it's
you say?
definitely great.
What is your favorite drink? I mean, I usually drink beer or wine or whiskey.
Okay.
That I just drink straight. But like, you know,
If you're gonna go if you're gonna go to Barrio Chino, you gotta first of all start with a clasico. Okay, don't wander around. Just get a clasico, all
mhm,
right, which is a classic margarita, fresh lime margarita, outstanding stuff. Very well made. Not too strong, not too weak. If you're feeling bold, however, uh, I would go with a jalapeno lime. I have to warn you though, jalapeno lime, as the name suggests, is spicy.
mhm,
I mean, when I say spicy, I mean you're gonna take a sip and you know, the, your hair is gonna be on fire. It's spicy, but damn,
yeah.
it's really good. If you like spicy food and spicy drinks, you're gonna love it. It's fantastic.
And a lot of date, if when you go out on a date, they girls like cocktails. If they're gonna have a drink, they usually drink a cocktail. They don't typically they don't drink beer or maybe they'll
Hmm.
have wine, but not really shots or anything, depending.
Sure.
But like at least they have a good list of cocktail, or not a good list, but a list of cocktails that are sort of different than if you
Yeah,
just go to a
their
bar.
their their Paloma is good. It's very good. So if someone
Paloma.
wants a cocktail, like if I'm on a date and I've been on dates with girls, we're like, you know what? I've had a margarita. I want to switch to something else. I want a cocktail. I'll suggest a Paloma because really can't go wrong with the Paloma. It's a very famous drink. Everybody knows how to make it.
Got it.
Um, so it's one of those bars, and you know what? If you go there frequently and you get to know them,
Hmm.
they will make your drinks are not on the menu. That's what I mean about surprise.
Okay.
Right? You'll say, "Oh, you know what? I don't want that jalapeno because it's too spicy. But at the same time, I also don't want the hibiscus because it's too sweet." And they're like, "You know what? Let me see. Let me go behind the bar and see what I can make for you." And they'll make this drink, and you'll be like, "Damn, this is perfect. Like this is
Hmm.
really good. It's not on the menu, but it's really good." Uh, but that's what I mean, right? They'll go that extra mile to make sure you're happy.
I see.
But it's great. I mean, the best part about this place is that like it's close to all the cool shit, right? It's close to Morgenstern's ice cream. It's on Lower East Side, right? So there are a bunch of other restaurants around there too. Um, I mean, one of the other restaurants I want to talk to you about today is also two other restaurants are also right around the corner from there. So it's like a food mecca there, man. I'm telling you, Lower East Side,
Yeah.
bunch of restaurants, amazing restaurants.
I see. We're looking at the map now. A Williamsburg pizza, which isn't even in Williamsburg.
Yeah,
Uh,
exactly.
ice cream place, and yeah, some of these places are temporarily closed, but that's because of COVID. But
Sure.
this whole area is like, I mean, I go like I hear all the time. I've never been to this restaurant, but like things like bakery, Cougar.
Oh, sure.
Yeah,
You
it's
have
yeah,
you
it's a
need to
great.
make a yeah, definitely, man. you need to make a reservation and go. Like just promise me you're gonna try it out, right? Just give it a shot and see what you think. Yeah, I think you're gonna love it.
Hmm. Yep. Very good. All right. Let's take a look at the next one here. So this is the front of it,
Yeah,
Maraschino.
yep, yep,
Okay.
yep.
Nice. I like it. Looks clean.
Exactly. Very
All
nice
right.
place.
Sweet Chick. What is this?
Oh yeah, sweet chick, man. I've been meaning to go to this restaurant for some time now. And just recently, a couple of weeks ago, I actually had an opportunity to make it down there.
Ah,
Sweet Chick was started in, I want to say, Brooklyn. Yeah, it was Brooklyn. I don't think it was Williamsburg. I think, you know what, it might have been Williamsburg.
hmm.
Uh, they
Williamsburg, Brooklyn.
specialize
Yep.
they
2013.
specialize exactly. They specialize in Southern food. It's they have a bunch of other things, but they specialize in uh chicken and waffles.
Chicken and waffles. That's what that's. Can't get more southern than that.
Exactly. Oh man, it's so good. They got chicken and waffles with this like a spicy sauce that you can put on it.
Mhm.
It's mind blowing. It is fantastic. It's super good. And they just do it really well. It's one of those no frill restaurants, like you're not gonna get fancy or anything. I mean, they serve it to you in like one of those almost like paper plate kind of things.
Mhm.
So it's not even like an actual thing. You just kind of one of those places where you eat and like smaller tables, you eat there and you throw out the paper plate and off you go. So,
Yeah.
but very good, very very good food. Excellent service. No problems at all. Um, I went to the one in uh, downtown Brooklyn, which is where I live, right? So that was the closest one to me, near the Barclays Center. But I have not made it out to the one in Lower East Side. I think it's in Lower East Side, East Village, Lower East Side, or the one in Williamsburg. I'm looking forward to going to the one in Williamsburg. But man, I'm telling you, this is one of those places where you just can't go wrong. I mean, if you're someone who likes fried chicken and waffles, uh, their drinks are their drinks are great. Their food is outstanding. Their food is out of this world. It's
Yeah.
fantastic.
Looking at the photos, this is
Yeah,
good.
exactly. And
Yeah.
you know what? To be honest, it's reasonably priced. Like you're not gonna blow your budget. I mean, just by going there. So, and most of these places we're talking about today, I mean, you can easily have a great meal for under $50, and we're talking like a really good food.
So this is good for a first date because you don't want to get taken to the cleaners on some girl that might just use you for a.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So like same thing like Barrio Chino, you can have a first date in under 50, $60.
Mhm.
That's including drinks, right? I mean, where can you get that in the city, right? So nowhere. Sweet Chick is a great place too. Like you can have a great meal for under $50 and a couple of drinks.
Mhm.
Um, and so my rule with first dates is I like to keep it under, you know, like a little over an hour, but like around an hour or so. It's a first date. If it goes,
Yeah.
if it goes well, then great. We can get out of there. We can go around to the bar, just sit down and have a drink. Uh,
And that's a whole nother podcast. We could
that's a
have a.
different
That's a whole.
podcast.
But there's a little bit that bleeds into this because, when you, it's helpful to know what are good places to eat because the last thing you want to do is just say, oh, let's try this place and it's a disaster. You really put a
Exactly.
damper on the date.
You're absolutely right about that, man. Because you yourself, like as a guy on a date, you can only you yeah, okay, you can be charming and you can be funny and whatnot, but I mean, you also want to make sure that place you're going to isn't a dump, isn't like a rat infested place where like service is, crappy service or whatever, food is nasty. You want to go somewhere nice, but not somewhere that's going to blow your budget. So like it's a good balance of both. And you know, I promise you, you take your I don't know, I don't know how much I can say on this podcast without sounding vulgar.
Oh, I mean, you could speak
But
on it.
you can't, if you go to these places, if you don't have the nastiest sex afterwards, I have no hope for you.
I know what you're saying. It is important because first impression means a lot. But the thing
Exactly.
is, it could really, it's like if you go to a wedding, you walk in a place and it's nice and every the atmosphere, and then you take one bite of the food it destroys the whole wedding. And you got to sit there
Exactly
and eat
right.
this crappy food. And I'm thinking, not of a wedding, but I went to a christening where everything was marble and gold and everything, and the food, it was unedible.
Oh
And I just
God.
said, I drove what, 2 hours out in Long Island here. I didn't even get something. I had a when I went on my way back home, I went to the diner to get a cheeseburger because I was hungry. So
Yeah.
it could really dampen any situation. So
True. True.
it's good
True.
to be aware of these things. If you know, even if you don't take food seriously, but you know, dating is important to you, or if you're taking a client out, you got to sort of know these things.
Exactly. Exactly right. I mean, and if you are someone who's out and about in the city, you need to know enough places where if you go somewhere, like for example, the first place I mentioned about Yoshino, they didn't used to, at least now they do during COVID, but they didn't used to take reservations. You need to have a backup. You need to have a backup. I need to have a backup of a backup, and they all need to be good, right? So I think a lot of times, like a lot of, and I've been on a lot of dates, and women telling me this. They're telling me that men just don't plan dates. Like,
Yeah.
come on, put in the work, plan the thing. Like, what's your backup? How do you
Well,
envision your date
that's
going?
a
Right?
good question. Speaking of backup, should you have a backup that's close by? Because let's say if the place don't take no reservations, right?
Sure,
You go there and there's a line out the door. Now you got to wait, and then
totally,
if it's raining, so you got to sort of know, oh, this other place is only a block away. It's really good too.
exactly.
So
So exactly. So when I go to Barrio Chino and if they have a line out the door and they're telling me there's an hour wait, I'll simply go to La Contenta, which is a couple blocks down, right? Or I'll go to Ivan Ramen, which is also a couple blocks down. So like you have all of these places around there, which you need to know as a guy when you're going out on a date, or as a gal going out on a date. You gotta know. You gotta know, like what's your backup? What is your plan? How
yep,
do you see your evening going?
yep.
Because you know what, I'm telling you right now, man. If you go in without without being prepared, without having a plan, you're not gonna make it. You're just not gonna make it, right? Like,
No, especially if the girl's sort of a foodie. That just
right?
you know,
Yeah,
eh,
and if she's smart and educated, you better not waste her time. I mean, women
yeah.
don't like to waste time
No,
nowadays.
you just come off looking like a buffoon, and
Exactly.
especially if you kind of dating someone in a circle of friends, and you know some of her friends, and then you just come off looking really bad. So it's very important to do. I'm saying you have to be a super foodie, but do some research, especially with Google now and Seamless and not Seamless,
Sure.
Yelp. You know,
Exactly. Exactly.
and
Totally.
go try the restaurant out. Like you said, you go by yourself sometimes, or if you just want to go to happy hour with your friends, try it out. And I always go by recommendations. I rarely walk into a place, like especially if it was a date. I just don't do that.
Oh no, 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 exactly, exactly. I mean, my friends have to have had food there. I've had to have experienced that place myself before I take a date there,
Hmm.
because
Yep.
you just don't
Yep.
want to do that.
All right, let's take a look at Lucali. This is
Oh
now
yes,
Italian.
Italian.
Lucali, Brooklyn.
Let me tell you something, man. The best pizza in Brooklyn, and I may be speaking out of line here because this is a very hot topic, okay? And I'm sure your listeners are gonna have their opinions. They have every right to, okay?
Well, just don't
But
put your address on this podcast.
but I gotta be honest, the best pizza in Brooklyn, definitely gotta go with Lucali. Lucali is
Would
by
you
far.
say Lucali best pizza in New York? Because we went to Lombardi for New Year's about 2 years
Sure,
ago, and
sure.
wasn't terrible. It was brick oven pizza. It was pretty good, but it didn't blow me away.
That's the thing, right? I mean, it's a matter of personal preference, but I think I personally I like Lucati. I think Mark Iacano does a just a fantastic job. I mean, yes, you have other iconic places like Defara, right? Defara is, I
Yeah,
mean,
DeForest by me. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. I mean, Defara is kind of like a hole in a wall, but man, the guy's been there for God, I don't even know how long. He's been there for decades and has been doing pizza. So,
I know he
uh,
was serving. He's been there so long. He was serving pizza to Civil War uh, infantry.
yeah, he's been there. Yeah, he's been there a long time. But I mean, look, again, this is not to put those places down because he's been doing that for a long time, right? But my personal preference, I do like Locali. I like the ambiance of
Mhm.
Locali. It's not just the pizza, but it's also the fact that you go there, you go
Yeah,
there and
look
and
at that.
Exactly, right? Look at that. Look at that thing of beauty, huh? Um,
Yeah.
you go there, put
Yeah.
your name down, and it says on the website. So it's no bullshit. It says it. Look, you open the website. Oh, the first thing it says, show up at 5. Right there, you're looking at it. See, show up at 5. Put your name down
Hmm.
on the list. Go have a drink, and we'll call you when your table's ready.
Hmm.
And you know what? It's a no BS restaurant. Like you could talk to the Mark Icon, who's the founder and no, um,
Oh, it's
owner.
BYOB.
It's BYOB. They don't serve alcohol. They'll give you
Wow.
cups. They'll give you cups.
Okay.
But the pizza is outstanding. Oh man, their calzones. Let me tell you something. They're known for pizza, but once you try their calzone, you might not want to order the pizza because you're not gonna order the pizza. Calzone's fucking outstanding. The calzones are really, really good.
And
Uh,
how's the prices?
Pizza is about $24 roughly, and it's a big pizza. Like you can eat
Right.
two people can eat from it,
Right.
right?
Right.
Calzone's the same way. Calzone's I think like $16 or so. Again, big calzone, two people can easily eat out of that.
Hmm.
And I think they serve the calzone with there's a this hot pepper sauce.
Hmm.
And man, it's so good. It's really good. And the pizza is just fantastic. I mean, fresh pizza. Uh, and the thing with locality, right? And the thing with Mark, and I learned to make pizza, and I make a lot of pizza. I learned to make pizza by watching him.
Okay.
Um, and the dude, and I have not tried this, and I would not want to try it. He rolls out his pizza. Ready for this, right? He rolls out his pizza with a wine bottle.
A
Like he takes
wine
a wine
bottle,
bottle
like
and
using it as a roller.
exactly like a
Wow.
rolling pin. But I've tried that. The pies come out crispier. It's actually really good.
Hmm.
Yeah, you'd be surprised, right? But the pies come out. I think it's the weight of the wine bottle or whatever. I don't know,
Mhm.
but man, the pies come out so good. I'm like, oh my god.
Now, have you been to Lombardi Pizza?
I have, I have
And
been to
how would you
Lombardi's.
compare Lombardi to this?
I would not compare Lombardi's. I mean, look, Lombardi's is good. They have their own style of pizza. Again, nothing wrong with it, right?
Because
But
it
I
looks
like
similar. I mean, it's a round, flat, round pie. It looks a little similar.
that's true.
I mean, it
It
probably
is.
tastes different. You're right, but
I mean, if you're gonna go to Lombardi's, you might as well go to Grimaldi's because Grimaldi's is right in Brooklyn,
right, right,
Brooklyn
right.
Bridge Park, right? Um, Lombardi's isn't bad. Grimaldi's isn't bad either. And I've had both of them, but I mean, for me, I would definitely go with Locality. I mean, they
Okay.
just create that atmosphere for you where you feel, again, going back to what we talked about with other restaurants, they make you feel comfortable. You
Right.
sit there. It's no bullshit. You're there for pizza, and that's all he does. I mean, there's a saying that goes, with Mark, there's a saying, right? Pizza and calzone, leave him alone. That's all he does.
I've
Like
never
he
heard
doesn't.
that.
Yeah, he doesn't do anything else, which I can appreciate because in a sense that's your focus. Um, but yeah, man. But I've definitely got to. There are other pizza places like, again, as you said, Lombardi's, Grimaldi's, De Fara's, but for me, De Fara's, I gotta make a trek all the way out to
Yeah, and there's no
Edgewood Road.
atmosphere there. It's really just a pizza place. Now it
Exactly.
says localities is rated number one in New York City and number two in the country. Who's number one in the country? Do you know?
I do, man. It's Pepe's in Connecticut.
Really?
Frank Pepe's. If you want to pull up his website, see if you have it. He makes this amazing clam pie. It is. I haven't had the opportunity to try it yet, but Frank Pepe's, man. Oh God, Jesus. Those pies are really, really good. It's the number one pizza joint in the country, and man, those pizzas are massive and they're good. Uh,
So
and
this is a.
that is it. Yes, sir.
I like this soda here. It looks so foreign. I like it.
Exactly. And the beauty with this guy is that they actually started with his father, right?
Hmm.
Frank Pepe Sr. And he would actually transport pizzas on his head and deliver them that way. That's how the story goes. And so there was I don't know if you know the story of Pepe's, but Pepe's used to be behind two houses. There were there's two houses in the front, and there was an alleyway leading back to the restaurant, to the pizza place. And there was a bookie that used to sit in the front of the two houses. Um, and one time he comes in and he says, "Hey, have you all considered putting put clams on pizza?" They put clams on pizza, and that was the end of it. Like that's the story. And the
Mhm.
clam pies are freaking mind blowing. I mean, it's yeah, it's a trip worth making. Let me tell you.
I see he's
Yeah, it's
from
definitely good.
Naples, and we were
He
talking
is from
before.
Naples.
The round pizzas, Naples is known for the round pizza, but then you've got the Sicilian pie, which is a whole nother, you know, ball of wax. But this is
Exactly.
I like this website because they got the guy history. It makes you want to go there when you see they got great pictures of the food. The soda, I would love the orange soda, and then pizza is just
That looks
awesome
fantastic, right?
together. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
exactly.
want to go there right now. Let's take a trip.
I mean, Pepe's. Let me tell you something. Pepe's, they're also wood fired, right? I mean, any pizza maker worth his or her salt is gonna use a wood fired oven. Please, I mean, let's be real here. But the oven that he uses, right, at Pepe's, it used to be a bread oven,
Okay.
so it is massive. The amount of pies you could fit in that, it's crazy. You could fit like 10, 15 pies in that
Hmm.
oven.
Yeah,
Massive.
it's looking at it now.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean,
Now,
it's
is
just
this
done right.
wood or is this coal? And what's the difference between it? Is coal better or is that what is that? Coal?
That might be coal. That might be coal.
I don't know if
Huh.
there's a difference in coal pizza and wood-fired pizza. I mean, I don't know. I'd have to like.
My understanding is that wood burns for longer.
Okay.
That's what I thought. I don't think coal burns that longer, like the amount of time. So you get that consistent heat
Hmm.
from wood than you do from coal. And I think it gets hotter too
Hmm.
compared to coal. So uh, yeah, and I think from a flavor standpoint too, right? Coal is a first burn,
Hmm.
whereas sorry, now wood is a first burn, and then
Hmm.
coal is a second burn. What I mean by that is like when you the coal comes out of burning, right? So when you burn something, the process, the end result is coal. So you don't get that first burn effect, which you really want on a pizza. That's what gives it that nice crispiness
Hmm.
on the top. That
Right.
that's a little bit of that charred burnness.
Right.
So, but yeah, man. I mean, I mean, it's crazy. I'm telling you, man. I last year we were quarantined. You can ask my roommates, but last year when we were quarantined, I was making pizza at least once a week. I must have had like 50 or 60 pies this last year. So
Now, when you make pizza, do you are you trying to emulate what you've tasted at Lucali or any other place to say that was pretty good? I need to get closer. And you are you trying to sort of recreate what is really good out there?
no, I do what I think tastes right. Right? I mean, look, if I wanted to taste, if I wanted to have like locale style pizza, I go to locale. If I wanted like the far, I go to the far. Right? I want pizza that. So I'm a very creative person in the kitchen, right? So when I make pizza, I'm constantly experimenting with it. I want to get the basics right. I want to get the dough right. I want to get the bread, the cheese, and the sauce right. Right. For me, for me, I don't believe in adding all kinds of shit on pizza. For me, pizza is bread, sauce, and cheese. That's it. So it's just dough, sauce, and cheese. For me, that's great. Margarita pizza, love it, fantastic. For
But
me, that's a
you
go-to.
mentioned clams though.
Right, but that's what I mean. So that's when I started adding things to it because I understand the basics now. But I'll add like peppers to it. I'll add onions to it. I'll add, the other day I made a garlic pizza. So it was like a garlic butter instead of tomato sauce. And once I was done, I added a tad bit of cheese on top. So I left it. So it was like a white pizza. I left the sauce out. Um, so for me, it's like I'll make pizza that I want to eat, that I'm excited about, that might not be the traditional pizza that you get at locales or Grimaldi's or or DeFars or whatever. So for me, it's about creativity, right? For me,
Okay,
it's about
that's fair enough.
pushing the boundaries of what I can
Well,
do.
that's why I asked you in the very beginning. What is
Yeah.
that somebody consider? Is that a foodie does it or a chef practitioner? Like what is that called? Because a foodie goes out and eats, but then you take it one level more and you're actually making stuff at home and not just making stuff, but you're experimenting with like different
Right. So at that point, yeah, exactly. That point, I go from being a foodie to a creator to being a chef, uh,
practitioner.
practitioner. Exactly,
Mm.
exactly.
Now, I worked out in Long Island for a few years, and the one
Mhm.
thing that disgusted me when we went to they put pineapple on pizza. That was a big thing. Is pineapple okay with you, or there's some
Okay,
toppings that are just no, no.
JC, I gotta be honest. Fruit doesn't belong on pizza. Okay, the period. End of the conversation. I don't. We're just gonna nip it in the bud right now. Ham and ham. We're gonna put ham on pizza. Fine. All right. Pineapple on pizza it does not belong on pizza. It's not. It's a fruit.
Yeah,
Come on, please.
I couldn't agree more. Yeah,
Right? It doesn't
no,
belong on pizza. What the heck is
no,
ham and pineapple? What's a Hawaiian pizza? Yeah, Hawaiians don't eat pizza like that. Like what the hell?
no,
It's
that's
a
just it's bizarre.
it's a bizarre thing. I mean, I've seen people put all kinds of crazy shit on pizza, and for me, it's like there's a limit to. I draw a line to a certain, like, you want to put some like olives and stuff. Fine, all right, whatever. I understand, I'll eat it, but don't give me pineapple pizza. That's not pizza.
Well,
That's something else.
the place by me, Nap Street Pizza, the pizza's okay. It's pretty good, but they have the ziti pizza, and they
The
just
what
put
now?
all the ziti, like macaroni ziti, on top of the pizza. And you really, one, you're not adding to flavor because it's just macaroni, and then it's carbs on top of carbs. So I don't really understand
It's
that.
not balanced at that point. It's not. First of all,
No,
it's not pizza at that point because this is something else.
no,
I
there's
don't
no
know what it is.
flavor. Like, what are you adding to it? Because the sauce is already there.
Exactly. And I know this is this is a contentious topic, but if you go to Chicago, they're known for deep dish pizza, right? They consider that to be pizza. And I know there's a place in the city in New York called Emmett's. Now, Emmett does a lot of deep dish pizza, and that's all they do. They do deep dish pizza, and it's actually freaking good. I've been there before. It's pretty good. Yeah, you gotta wait 30 minutes to 30 minutes to get your pizza, but it's not bad. It's a different type of pizza. I think it's pretty good. He makes it really well. Um, but for me, pizza is something. It's like Naples. Pizza is something that's got to be light. It's got to be fresh, and it's got to be thin. Like it's got to be crisp. It can't.
You know what? I ate at 5 o'clock. I said, "This is all I'm going to eat today," but now I'm getting hungry, so it's not helping. I gotta. I think I
And
got
Jesse, we're not. We're like maybe like halfway in. Like you
halfway.
gotta.
No, I've got some eggplant, and I'm going to have later. So I'm going to have. I was going to save it for tomorrow, but it's history tonight. I'm hungry now. All right, let's go now. We're going to take a step up. This to me, this intimidates me, and I'll tell you why. It looks nice and
Okay.
everything, but it just like I could feel money disappearing out of my wallet just by looking at this website. So
Oh
tell me about
man.
this place. Is this maybe not a first date? Is this a third date? Is this a close the deal date? Like, what am I looking
Uh,
at? Because it scares me. I'm only middle class, and I guess so are you. But this looks, I don't know. It just
so this restaurant is called Per Se. It's a three-star Michelin restaurant.
three
Okay.
star. That's it.
They might have more. I don't know, but it's not your. I'm just gonna check this out and go there. And one of the no, yeah, you really have to plan for this. This is definitely not a first date restaurant. This is not a date restaurant. Period. This is
Okay.
more like a this is more like a first year wedding anniversary. Okay,
Oh, okay. Okay.
because JC, as you said it in the beginning, this is money. Okay,
I,
this is
I
three hundred
know.
fifty dollars. This is $350 a person before tax and wine. This is just the food.
They could have put a little more money into their website, but it still is like I think it's the font that's just like and it's one of these places where you pay a lot and look at this dish. This is what you get, right?
But that's the they have like I forget how many courses they have. They have like oh Jesus, I think they have like 14 or whatever, however many courses. I
Oh,
don't
it's
even
one of
know.
those things. Yeah. Now, why is this okay? Even if you've been there in the foods, why is this on your list? Is there a reason you would go here?
It's just the food is. I've heard the food is outstanding. And let me tell you something. I used to work with someone who went there for her birthday. Okay, this is a woman. She went there with her husband and her daughter. And they called. When they made the reservation. Keep in mind they made the reservation about 3 or 4 months in advance, by 3 months in advance. Okay, so this is not something you call up and say, "Can I? Do you have a table for two?" Doesn't work that way. Like you got
Mhm.
to make a reservation well in advance. Um, they get the menu, and the menu says "Happy Birthday," and I'm gonna cloak her. I'm gonna give you a different alias here. Happy birthday, Susan. We're so glad to have you. I mean, it's on this. It's they have printed this menu just for her. Um, that's the kind of level of detail that we're talking about, and the food. I mean, oh my God! By the way, this is a Thomas Keller restaurant. The Thomas Keller, he has he has a bunch of restaurants. Um,
Bakeries, I see.
exactly, exactly. So he has that, and uh, I mean, the guy is
Is he a
literally
celebrity chef?
he is a celebrity chef,
Okay, see, I
but
didn't know.
he's one of the celebrity chefs that still actually stays in the kitchen and cooks. He's
Okay,
not like nothing against Bobby Flay, but Bobby Flay is a celebrity chef. But the guy, I don't know how much time he spends in the kitchen actually.
right. He's more like a personality, celebrity personality now.
Exactly, exactly. Whereas you see Thomas Keller is an actual chef, and the thing is, like he. So by the way, this per se is a French restaurant, and speaking of French restaurant, the I guess one of the first restaurants that Thomas Keller opened was called the French Laundry, which is a world-renowned restaurant. It's in California, and it's man, it's an outstanding. And I think they just redid this place with an open kitchen, but it's rated one of the top restaurants in the world. So it's great food. They grow their food locally. It's so locally that actually in California, because they can do that over there. Their vegetable garden is right across the street from them, and they have a farmer on payroll that grows fresh vegetables around the year. So that's what I mean when I say that the attention to detail is they focus on every inch of the carrot, every inch of the onion, every inch of the you know every inch of every vegetable and fish and meat. I mean, it's hand selected, it's handcrafted, and it's just one of the experiences that it's something you have to experience because it's the level of detail and the craftsmanship that goes into preparing a dish. It's you can see the experience that goes behind that, you know, to creating something that beautiful.
Right.
Uh, but to your point, I think a lot of these fancy restaurants that you go to, right? You when they give you the food, they give you this big ass plate, and there's like a little bit of the food in there. Like you can finish it in 2 bites. Um, and it feels that. But the person that went there, this my former coworker, I spoke to her. I'm like, how was that? Like, don't you feel like you have to go get a burger afterwards because like you be hungry? I'm a guy like to eat.
Hmm.
I want quality, but I also want quantity. Like, I don't want to be hungry after 14 courses, and
Exactly.
you're spending $350 per person, possibly close to $500 if you add wine and stuff. Um, so, but no, she said no. Actually, though that you do feel satisfied and you do feel full when you go to these restaurants. So you better hope so, right? Because you're spending $500 per person. I mean, JC,
Oh,
the two,
the only way,
yeah, the
only
two
way
of you
I'm,
go there.
only way I'm going there is I get invited to some party or wedding. That's it. I don't. I'm not a McDonald's guy, but I'm not a per se guy either. I'm somewhere in the middle.
Oh, okay, all right. Well,
Uh,
that's respectable, right? I mean, that's I think that's where most foodies, that's where I fall, right? I'm not a McDonald's guy because it's just not healthy at all. But at the same time, I've never been to per se, and I've never been to the other another restaurant that we're talking about, La Bernardin. I've never been to there. I've never been there either, and that's a fish restaurant.
okay.
And that guy focuses mainly on fish. So, um, but again, these are experiences in life, right?
Yeah,
These are not.
exactly. It becomes an experience. Now they have careers here. You can work here. I mean,
That is true.
you have your own career, but somebody who wanted to get into this. I mean, me, I don't know what I'd apply for. Probably other, which is clean the tables up, and but at least they have. It's a good way to get in if you
Exactly.
really
And
are.
the good thing is, right, and I'm passionate about food. I'm someone who loves
Oh
food.
yeah, yeah.
And I would love to learn. So for like, I know I have some folks in my family that have actually, not this restaurant, they've worked at restaurants just an apprentice. Like, I would call them up if this were me. I would call them up and say, hey, um, I, could I work for you for 2 weeks in the evenings? I'm
Mhm.
happy to do whatever. You don't have to pay me. This is not for money. I'm happy to apprentice. I'll do the dishes or whatever you want me to do. I'll do the dishes. I'll chop up some veggies or whatever for you, as long as I get to learn from the best. And
Mhm.
that's really it, right? So I would definitely call them up and be like, "Hey, I would love to work in the restaurant. Even if you didn't pay me." So, uh, and then that's a great way of working, right? I mean, that's a humble beginning. That's how you learn.
Yeah, and that's how you network. You start to meet people and talk to people, and that's really the way to do it with anything. Not really a fan of French food, although my family comes from northern Italy, and there's definitely a French influence in there.
Yeah, you guys are so close. What are you talking about? You guys
For
are so close to
well,
France.
uh, yeah, I mean polenta is a big thing in northern Italy. So is a lot of cheese sauces and soups. So there's definitely that commonality. But one thing about northern Italian food, they always give you good portions. And every time I've been to a French restaurant, they gave me this little thing. I thought it was the appetizer, and it was the main course. So I don't. I mean, you know me pretty well. I don't. I'm not someone who belongs at a French restaurant, even the way I look. It's like if I went to an oil painting exhibition, I would just criticize things. I just don't belong there. It's more power to people that go there, but it's just not my thing. But I'm sure a lot of the food is probably very good.
The thing with me is, right, French food. I half the time I can't pronounce the damn thing on the menu. I'm like, hold on, how do I say this? What does this mean? What is
Yeah.
bouillon? What is this? So for me, it's like but for me, if I can't pronounce the food, I'm probably not gonna eat it.
Yeah, I just say, if it's snails or insects, I don't want it. Give me I mean, look, I'm far from being a foodie. Okay. I've gone to an Indian restaurant and ordered a cheeseburger. I'm just not there. I get it. But I wouldn't mind going to an occasion, being invited to a wedding or something, and going to a place like this, and just kind of like trying it out. And like you said, part of it is the atmosphere, especially if you're outside in California and you're drinking wine and you're outside, and so that's part of the experience.
Yeah, exactly. It's part of the experience. It's one of those things that you want to do at least once.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, man, it's definitely great. It's
Okay.
fantastic.
Just I don't like to walk by a place like this because I feel like there'll be less money in my pocket. I'm just
There
not
will
cheap.
be less money in your pocket. You'll
I'm not.
definitely have to. You'll definitely need to save up for this. This is not a place you just go
Yeah, and you know
to.
what? If you're dating some girl and you're looking for a place to eat, let's just say on the fly, don't walk by this place because you'll be like, oh, look at this. Let's go here. And then there goes Mr. Paycheck. It's gone.
Here's the thing. Let me tell you something though, right? You can't just walk into these places because you need to make a reservation 3 months in
That's
advance.
true. That's true. That's it. That's a good excuse.
Exactly. You could just be like, we can't get in here. Sorry. Then just.
Yeah, that's a good thing. All right, let's take a look at ramen. Ivan Ramen. Okay. This
Oh man, yeah.
is
This is one of my other favorite places to go to. Um, this guy, his name's Ivan, obviously. Um, and he was born and raised. Uh, I think born and raised in. It's not Brooklyn. I think it was Queens. He's born and raised in Queens. Uh, this guy spent a decade. Okay, JC. This guy he went to Japan and opened a ramen shop
okay.
in Japan. Keep in mind, Japan has tens of thousands of ramen shop. And then you have this American who's there, who's making ramen from scratch. And it sounds easy, but it's actually really not. But he spent 10 years there, and his ramen shop was the best ramen shop in Japan. That's crazy. I
Ah,
mean, this guy, that's like you going to India, opening an Indian restaurant, and being the number one, Indian restaurant in India. Like that's crazy. How do you know? It's crazy. I don't know how you do that.
What is his background? Is he American guy or what is his? Do you know?
Yeah, he's born and raised, and I think he's born and raised in Queens. He studied Japanese at the University of Colorado Boulder, uh, and then he worked at the culinary, or he actually graduated and went to the Culinary Institute of America, which is a big deal actually.
What is
Um,
his family from Asia or India or?
nope, nope. His family is man. His family's got you know New York accent. I mean, uh, this guy is not Asian at all. There's not an ounce of Asian in him.
Okay.
But he figured out how to make this. He figured out how to make ramen. And at one point, he actually worked for Bobby Flay. He apprenticed with Bobby Flay's Mesa Grill, which is closed now, uh, among other restaurants. But I mean, this guy loves ramen. And let me tell you something. This is why I love this place. It's no frills. You go there, you get a beer, okay, and you have to go there. Okay, even if you're not a big Asian food fan, you have to go there. You get their chicken ramen, which I forget what it's called. I think it's just chicken ramen, um, and it's so good. It's so good. I mean, you can taste the chicken, like you can the broth. You can taste the chicken, and it's so chickeny. Which sounds like, oh, okay, it's a chicken, like chicken stock, right? But it's so the way they make it. Oh my God, it's so good. It's so fresh. And the one thing that's so hard to get in any cooking, not just Japanese cooking, but Japanese, Indian, Italian cooking, it's a thing called umami, right? It's a balance of flavors, which
Oh
I'm sure
yeah,
you've
like
heard of, right?
the umami burger.
Exactly, total, exactly. Which I've yet to try by the way, which I don't know if the restaurant's still open. Um, but that umami, getting that umami, the balance of fat, acid, salt, and heat is so complicated. Um, but this guy does it really well. Like, I mean, his Tokyo shoyu is outstanding, and so is his so his like his chicken ramen. It's like freaking amazing stuff. I know you had mentioned a ramen spot actually. Um, uh, I forget what it was called, but it was near
The midnight ramen noodle. It's called the midnight ramen.
no, it was that place where you go and you're sitting in a booth by yourself.
Oh, around the corner
Uh,
from where we used to work.
yeah, that's right, that's right. I
Yeah.
forget the name of it. But yeah, that place. I haven't been there, but I have heard a lot of good things about that spot.
Yeah, no, it's very good. And they have the ones in the boxes. You could take it home and make it.
Oh, I didn't know that. Oh,
Yeah.
that's interesting.
As soon as you walk in, they have all these boxes, and I think it's 16, no, it's $30, and you get three. You could probably make about three bowls from it.
Oh, okay. Oh, wow, that's
It's
a lot of food.
it tastes just like the one, but if you want to add other things, then you got to add like an egg or like pork.
Then you gotta make, yeah.
Yeah, you got to add things in. But this is interesting because we were talking about coming from the ground up, and it says his journey began with a dishwashing job at the age of 15. So this guy,
Yeah.
Ivan, is he like Ukrainian or Russian? Because his last name is not Raman. It'd be coincidence.
No. His last name, that's a good.
Because it says Ivan Raman. Well, it's probably just Ivan something, and he just named it Ivan Ramen because that's the noodles. Yeah, I
Yeah.
would definitely go there. I like ramen noodles. One of my favorite.
Yeah, I mean it's definitely. Oh, his name's Ivan Orkin.
Okay.
Ivan Orkin, and I'm almost certain he was born in somewhere in Queens, but I could be totally wrong. Um, but yeah, man, like this guy is a freaking genius. Yep. Said I don't know where that is. That's definitely Queens. Born and raised in Queens, he just went to Japan just to kind of learn how to make
Hmm.
ramen and make really good ramen. So,
Hmm.
um, but yeah, I mean, this is one of those guy. This is one of those guys that's like, I'm gonna give you what I give you. You like it, great. You don't like it, go fuck yourself. Kind of a
I've
guy.
yeah. Here he is, Ivan Orkin. This is what he looks like. Yeah, he's probably American, but he could be maybe Ukrainian, Russian. I mean, I like the fact that he started in a Japanese restaurant, went to University of or Boulder, Colorado to learn Japanese, then went to Japan. So he sort of followed the logistical career. If you really want to immerse yourself in something, he learned the language, the culture, worked in a Japanese restaurant, went to Japan, and that's why he's probably a success now.
Exactly, exactly. He's a massive success. The guy's really good.
Yeah.
And again, go to his restaurant. It's like it's one of those places where you can have a great meal for under $50.
Now, have you bought any of his cookbooks?
I have not. You know what? I
Here,
gotta get on that. I
here,
definitely have to
here,
get on.
here it is here. So look at all this stuff here.
It's
Organic,
pretty great, right? Yeah, exactly.
Korean cooking. So look at that. So we've got like Korean food too. Yeah,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
this would be good for you, right up your alley. You can, and you kind of put your own thing into it, and you use these as a reference and sort of expand your knowledge of culinary.
Exactly, exactly. So,
It's good.
but I've never been someone who reads like a cookbook and makes it from there because I used to, but at this point I have a sense of how much salt, how much heat, how much acid you
Right,
put
right.
in. So at this point I've been cooking enough for long enough where I can make really good food. Like I've been getting into cooking fish lately, and I was never a fish guy, and I just made like a whole sea bass with with a uh with a what are they called? Jesus, the heirloom tomato and an onion salad. It was fantastic. It was a
That
crispy
that
skin on the
brings that
outside.
brings us to our next restaurant, which is seafood. Now, all the other ones I would probably go to, but now you've lost me. I'm not saying this food isn't bad. I'm just not a seafood guy.
Okay, uh, fair point. Okay, this is also one of those places where you can't just walk in. You have to make a reservation. Again, this guy has Eric Repair is his name. Born and raised in France. And
This is
this
him.
guy. Yep, on your
Yeah.
screen. Yep.
Yep. Okay.
Um, Totally French guy, right? Big on seafood. Again, it's like three something $100. I don't know how much it is, but it's like per person, um, not including wine. So it's like it's fancy food. It's fancy fish seafood.
Okay.
But I hear it's delicious. I have not had a chance to go there. Um, but I mean, just look at that, right? I mean, look at the pictures. It's freaking fantastic
Yeah.
looking.
I mean, if somebody
So.
took me here, I would probably be looking for the hamburger or something. Can I tell you? I was born in this country. Oh, here, filet mignon. That's good. Well, they see, they have that. I mean, the excuse I shouldn't even say it on here, but the excuse I give people is like I'm allergic to seafood. In a way, I am. I get all like, but I think it's great.
Some people are. Some people are. A lot of people are allergic to seafood. Some people just can't. They break out. Like I know someone who breaks out when they eat any shellfish. And
Well,
that's more common than anyone being allergic to like
I
say a
have a
steak.
panic. I have a panic attack, but I think it's all in my head. So what do I know?
I
I went to a
mean,
wedding one time.
but that's okay. But that's okay. I don't know. Let's take a step back. How is that possible? You are, and you're gonna have to like excuse me here, but are you Catholic?
Well, it's got nothing to do with being Catholic. I mean,
Okay, let me ask you this one. You guys have feast. You're Italian.
yes, we
You
do.
have
We
the
have
feast
the
of seven
seven
fishes.
fishes, and I have a TV dinner or something like that, or something.
Oh
My
my
whole
God.
family eats it. Everybody in my family eats. I don't know why. I just get like a panic attack. I'll tell you the story.
Are you nervous? Yeah,
No,
tell
I
me the
just
story.
don't like it. I went to Capitale, and it's a big wedding hall in down Chinatown. It used to be a bank.
Okay.
I went to a
Okay.
wedding that was 150,000. My friend invited me. The cocktail hour looked like the wedding. That's how big it was. All right,
Oh
and the
Jesus!
wedding was
Wow.
huge. It was well over 300 people, maybe even 400 people. So I didn't eat anything all day. I was busy. Okay, I get
Right.
there, and this is quite a while ago, and the guy was stirring a pot of raviolis. So I was like, oh
Okay.
God, I'm so hungry. He gives me a bowl, puts the raviolis, and I'm eating it very fast, and I just froze. And I said, wait a minute, this ravioli is bad. It went bad. You better get some new ravioli. Change the day. He says, no,
Really?
because it's fine. It's lobster ravioli. I almost threw up. I had to go to the bathroom and I was like spitting it all out, just forcing myself to throw up because the taste just, it made me sick. I don't know. So
Is it lobster?
it
I
was
think it's a
lobster
lobster.
ravioli. Yeah, of course, it was the lobster because I thought it was cheese ravioli, spinach ravioli. I eat that. But he didn't tell me it was lobster ravioli. He was just stirring a pot of ravioli. He's like, oh, ravioli. And I started eating it and I was like, wait a minute. It just tasted bad.
Different. Yeah, yeah.
And I said, I said, sir, because it had cheese in it too, but it had lobster in it. I said, sir, I think this ravioli's bad. He's like, what are you talking about? It's fresh lobster ravioli. I'm like, whoa. I was like, ran sick. I felt sick. So
Wow.
it's in my head. And kind of, when I was dating, it kind of was a problem because sometimes girls would like to go to a seafood restaurant and I would be ordering something else and they'd get a billion questions. Why?
Wait, so you don't like sushi then?
I don't even eat tuna fish because that reminds me of cat food. It's just I just don't eat seafood. Period. The end. Not even freshwater fish. It's just not me. I know. Probably gonna get a lot of flack for it, although I get a lot of flack
Probably.
for a lot of other these episodes. But the point is, I think it's good, especially if for social reasons, friends, dating, that you're open. You eat seafood, and I think that's a good thing because it's like you're sort of normal, where someone like me is abnormal. So I think this is, if I like seafood, I would definitely go to this place. But is it? Because again, it looks pretty expensive, and it's definitely
It is.
not a first date kind of thing.
Nope. This is okay. But if per se is you know first year anniversary, I'll
Yeah.
put the summer up there too. Like
Okay.
this is definitely an anniversary thing. Like this is not, you would not, unless you were dating your girlfriend for like say 5 years, then it's different, right? But unless if you're dating someone for like 6 months, no. This is not where you take them. This is just not where you take them. Also, just for your audience, this is also not where you propose someone. Please don't propose to anyone in a restaurant.
Well,
That's like
yeah,
so overdone that like everybody does it. It's
because they want
crazy.
the attention. Like, look at me.
Exactly.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
They also want the free food because in the end you're gonna get the chef's compliment because oh look at you, you
Really?
got
They do
engaged.
that?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna get married 100 million times then. I'm just gonna go out and just, oh yeah, yeah.
Maybe you should be like Lucy. I'm gonna propose here today so that we get something for free.
Yeah, that's it. Well, when we used to go to TGI Fridays after we used to play ball, the guys would always say, "Oh, it's this guy's birthday," and that guy. They always used to do that. And one time they did it to me, and I didn't know they were doing that. And the lady comes over with a sundae, and I said, "It's not my birthday," and she looked pissed because I thought it was like a mistake. Like, oh, it might be the guy at the other table because it's the middle of the summer. My birthday's in the dead of winter. I said, maybe it's another person. Because you know how sometimes they bring it to the wrong table. I said, oh, it's not my birthday. And they're like, why do you do that for? And they didn't even let me eat it. They just took the sundae and they all took spoons and they ate it. So, I mean, it's good to get free
Oh
food,
man,
but if you're going to get, I don't think an expensive restaurant would give a complimentary meal to somebody getting engaged.
they would,
Really?
but the thing is, oh, they would. Trust me, especially
Why not?
places like these. Oh yeah,
So
it's a memory. You're gonna want to go back.
yeah, but what stops you and some girl being in cahoots, going to expensive restaurant? Yeah, obviously you can't repeat the restaurant and just getting free stuff, and you get some kind of fake ass ring to say, oh, "Look, you got the ring." And
I
what's to
mean,
stop people from doing that?
they're not. They're not always gonna. They're not. They won't give you anything big, right? I mean, they'll give you like a small dessert or whatever, and keep. I mean, look.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say that. Yeah.
I mean, you.
Or-
I mean, you're on their website. Just look at the amount of stuff you get per plate, right? I mean, it's tiny. It's like one fucking shrimp. Like come on, man. Like if they give you that for free, like oh, what the hell is it? What is it gonna cost them? Nothing.
Yeah.
You
So they
know?
give you one thing. They don't give you the whole meal. That's what you're saying.
No. They'll give you like maybe
Oh, okay.
like
I thought.
they might give you like a souffle or a piece of chocolate or something for free. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like
Now you clear that up. I'm not because I have a little bit of a criminal mind. I start thinking of things like that. But so now I got to go back to my choking. You know,
Your routine.
Yeah, I go back to the choking routine because just to get free meal. What can I tell?
That or that or sir, excuse me, there's hair in my food.
Yeah, bring some silverfish and throw them in the food.
Yeah.
It's bugging my food. There's one piece of macaroni and a bug. Look at that. I didn't see it until I got to the bottom of the plate. Yeah.
Oh man, that's
But,
crazy. That's great.
I
That's
didn't
great.
grow up. I didn't grow up rich. What can I tell you? But
Yeah, yeah,
um,
neither did I. Go do some shit.
private dining. What does private dining mean? Is that, I mean, you're with other people on the other tables. What does that
So
mean?
think of private dining as like a corporate thing. Like let's for example, let's say company is saying, hey, we're gonna do a dinner for 50 of our senior
Oh, like a
partners or
room.
whatever.
Like you're getting a space. You're the whole space. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, basically,
I got
exactly. Like a wedding, for example. If we have a wedding here, now, JC, let me ask you: if I had a wedding at this fish restaurant, would you come? Probably not.
I would come because it's free food, but the
It's
envelope might
fish.
not.
It's fish, though.
No, I think I saw a filet mignon on the thing. I'm sure they've got.
You would eat a filet mignon at a fish restaurant.
Oh, I ate a hamburger in an Indian restaurant. I got a lot of flack for it, but at the end of the day, it was free because my boss took us out to an Indian restaurant. I
Oh
don't really
shit!
have much shame. That's one thing about being an American and being born, and that's a whole nother podcast. But we'll leave that alone. But yeah, I'd come, but I just don't know if my envelope would equal the weight of the food I would eat because everything is so expensive. So if you want to invite me,
Yeah.
I'd come. I can't guarantee I cover the plate though. You know,
Oh, I see.
I'm
I
only
see.
middle class. So, and
Okay.
if you get married here, either your wife is going to be paying for it, and if you're paying for it, then I'm definitely going to be a friend because I cling on to people who kind of have that kind of power.
Oh, that's great. That's great. So,
Yeah, it's
let me
honesty. I'm
ask you
just
this,
being
man.
honest.
No, hey, that's fine. Totally, exactly. So let me ask you this, right? We've been talking about all these restaurants that I've either been to or one I go to. What about you? What's your go-to food?
Well, I got some on the list, and we're going to visit those things.
Yes, please. Let's
Okay.
talk about that. Like,
All right.
I want to know I want to know
Well,
what
it's
JC
funny.
like.
Well, some of them are sort of hybrid. They're kind of J and JC. So that's the next one. I
Okay,
pulled this
okay.
one that we went to, Nomad Smith's. Now, this place is not fancy inside. In fact, it's too loud because of all the tile. But I got to tell you something. I think I might have went here with my ex coworkers, but I think you went here too. They make a pasta and ragu, a cavatelli and ragu sauce. It tastes
Oh
like some
wow.
Italian restaurant. Have you ever been here? It's a few blocks from where we used to work.
So I've been here for either drinks or for brunch. I haven't been here for like a dinner.
Okay.
And I know their brunch is really good. Their drinks are fantastic. Uh, and this is the exact one I've been to. This is the one on Broadway, right?
Yep. It's just a few blocks from where we work. And I'm
Yeah,
gonna
exactly.
here it is. Short rib rigatoni. Okay. When I went, it was short rib cavatelli. It's red wine braised short rib and ragu sauce. And
Oh,
the
that looks
pasta's
good.
rigatoni, but
Oh,
they had cavatelli at the time. And it is out of this world. You would never
really?
think it's like an Italian restaurant. It's very, very good. I also had the sweet baked corn, which was like a little bit like Mexican flavor, and I had like the mashed potatoes, baked mashed potato. The food is excellent. I can't. You would never know that because of it. Just looks like a bar, and it's extremely loud because the place is covered in tile. But you would like so this is something that you and I would have gone to for lunch because it's walking distance, and you would definitely like.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, that looks really good. I didn't know Smith was that good, but I mean, I've been there for brunch and it was good, but I didn't know it was that good. Like,
It is, and I was surprised, and it was my friends at my previous job that we used to go to lunch once a month, and I just met them there. I said, "Yeah, it's a few blocks from me," and I went and I saw, wow, red wine braised short rib. I think it was cavatelli, and it was out of this world. So, and I went back a few times, and they've got a full bottled wine list, and very, and the place is always packed. In fact, sometimes you've got to wait. There's got to wait. But yeah, they got different. I guess they have different menus depending upon where it is. But the one next to us was Nomad, North Madison.
Oh wow. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I know. So I remember this. I mean, you and I, and give me some rope here. This was a couple of years ago, I think. You and I went for lunch. Um, and well, I took you to lunch actually, and I had this chicken. I don't know what you had.
Oh
There
yeah,
was this restaurant,
this is it.
27th Street or 28th
Yep,
Street. No, it
this is
wasn't.
this is it.
Pargola. That's it. That's it.
Yep,
Oh,
it's good,
that was good
right?
food. That was good food. That
This
was
is
good
another
drinks.
place my friends took me to. They said,
Oh
"Oh yeah,
man.
there's this
Oh
place."
man.
So I mean, like they're probably like you. They know restaurants better than I do, but yeah. And this place is a hooker, not a hooker, hookah. They smoke the things.
Hookah lounge. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Hookah lounge. Yeah.
yeah. But
Yeah. It's not a hookah lounge, man.
it's
Promise
well,
you.
I mean, there's other places too. And
You get your mouth out the gutter,
I don't
JC.
judge it. Well, because I don't know how to say it. It's like who hookah.
Hookah.
Yeah,
Hookah.
I say hooker.
This is a public podcast. Kids are listening to this stuff.
Well, I mean, if I were you, I would not listen to episode 5. That is probably the worst. And
Okay, now I'm actually
that's
intrigued. I'm probably gonna listen to it right
listen,
after
it's
we're done here.
you'll be in shock. But when some of these I just put over 18 on. I put that there.
Okay, I hope so. I hope so.
Yeah,
You don't
no,
want. I mean, I'm sure kids will learn a lot from this, which is something they'll learn eventually, anyways.
I don't think
But
kids
let's
would listen
not
to
speed up.
this. But if they
Let's not
if they
speed up
do,
the
their
process.
parents are. No, no, no. I try to keep it clear, but don't listen to episode 5. That's just shock value.
It's,
Yeah.
yeah.
Episode 5 is danger. But let's take a look at some of the stuff on the menu. So lunch, they got like sliders, lamb, tomato.
Oh yeah.
What is this? Baga ganoush munamar? Is this sound
Baba ganoush. How do I
on a
describe
pita?
this? Baba ganoush is Jesus. I'm trying to find a way to describe baba
But
ganoush.
what culture is that? Is that Greek or Turkish? What is that?
It's yeah, exactly. Baba ganoush is a Lebanese thing.
Okay.
And if you think of baba ganoush, it's like it's an appetizer, and it's like a mashed eggplant, olive oil, lemon juice. If you think of
Oh yeah, I know what that is. That's like gugazio. You know gugazio? It's Italian.
but no,
Gugazio is like it's sort of like squash in a pan with tomato sauce, and you fry it up with tomato sauce. It's called gugazio. Baba ganoush
interesting.
is
Okay,
yeah, that's like somebody from Bensonhurst. We call, hey, Baba ganoush.
it's a dip. It's a dip,
A
basically.
dip. So like what's the Mexican dip? That famous Mexican
Nuts.
the green stuff. They dip it in. Losing my mind. Avocado dip, whatever.
Yeah. Okay. It's similar to that. Except there's no avocado here. This is the base here is eggplant.
Okay.
And because it's Mediterranean, it's Lebanese. It's that's Mediterranean, right? Yeah, I think that's Mediterranean. It's a lot of olive oil, a lot of olives, a lot of olive oil. I mean, they're famous for that, right? I mean, Greece. You go to the other side, Lebanon. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
they're neighbors of they're neighbors of Italy, man. So that's olives are very prominent.
Yeah, well, they say some of the best Italian restaurants are on the coast of Libya. Believe it or not, that's
Really?
yeah, because it's very, very close to Sicily and Morocco, and you've got Italian restaurants in Morocco and Libya because Sicily is very close to Northern Africa. So yeah,
That's right. That's right. Yeah, because like Palermo, and then if you go on the other side, you are in Tunisia.
Tunisia. Yeah, that's where they
So
filmed Star Wars. And Tunisia, little trivia for people who like the movie Gladiator, used to be called Carthage, and the Battle of Carthage, Gladiator. Where
oh
the,
shit,
where
really?
the Romans took Carthage, and it was like that scene in Gladiator. It was the Battle of Carthage. It was
Yeah.
Carthage. It's Tunisia. But if you went to Tunisia today and said, "Hey, you know what? Star Wars was filmed here," and they wouldn't even know or even care. They're just not into that.
Yeah.
They're
I
into.
mean, it looks beautiful. Like it's a
Oh
beautiful. It's
yeah.
I mean, it's on the Mediterranean, so it's gorgeous. Oh
Oh
my
yeah.
god.
Yeah.
I mean, you have that Palermo, you have Sardinia in the middle,
Mhm.
obviously. Uh, it's on the other side you have Spain, so it's this like I'm telling you, man. If if this if I go on an extended vacation or like whenever I retire or whatever, this is it. This is my spot. Like this is that that these European countries that are like kind of grouped together. Oh man, that's
I think
fantastic.
if you can afford it, the best thing to do is take a yacht excursion and
Oh, nice.
dock there and then dock into the different cities, and you could hit Greece, Sicily, Morocco, all that Mediterranean, and you could dock in the towns and then go swimming. It's just that's the way to do it, because then you'll hit like so many different cities and countries in 7 or 8 days. You know,
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
so
Doc in Monaco, maybe.
yeah,
Yeah.
Monaco, yeah. This is yeah, they have sandwiches. I think we had the chicken cutlet with salad. He's the
That's right.
he's
Yeah. 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 That's
even
right. That's
even
right. Yeah.
the French fries are good. The French fries are very good.
Everything is good here, man. Everything's
Yeah.
fantastic. They're still open, right? I think they're still open.
Yeah, I think they do. They might be doing take now. Well, maybe with now they open up the restaurants, but it was a lamb burger. Look at that.
Oh wow. Ooh.
Chicken
Okay.
kebab. This is what I wanted to try because I love shish kebab. Roasted green peppers, onion.
Peppers, onions.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
not
Okay.
bad. And even for a date, short rib. Wow. Um, it's not bad even for a date. $50, or yeah, about
Oh,
50
this is a
bucks.
great. This is a great spot. Yeah. Not even. Yeah. Exactly. For two people. Oh yeah. It's
Yeah,
fantastic.
it's not. You've been. It's got pretty good atmosphere.
Yeah. Yeah. We were there. It was really nice. I wonder what. I
Oh,
wonder. Go
baklava
ahead.
cheesecake.
Oh man.
Fresh ricotta, honey, crushed pistachio. Yeah,
That's what I'm talking about. That's some good
yeah,
stuff right there.
yeah. This is
Wow.
I like this sweet potato mash. Yeah, um, definitely. We got to go back there when we go back to normal and we to go to lunch again. Definitely hit this place.
Yeah, I know, right? It's been
Yeah.
a while. Damn. I mean, when
You,
was the last time we went to lunch? It was like, Jesus, it's been like, what, over at least a year.
you know what happened to me. You know where I was. I was in
Yeah.
I was in a certified hell for a year. So um, I haven't been out in a very long time. I haven't had
Yeah.
alcohol in a long time. So yeah, I'm missing it. So this is the late night. So we were there for lunch. So look, they've got
Yeah.
music and they got hooker. I mean, hookah smoking. Can't see
Hookah.
hookah
Hookah.
hookah. Learn more about hookah. Um,
Sure you did.
yeah, Pearly Breeze, fresh lemonade. I guess these are all different like mists that you not smoke but inhale, and orange grape bubble gum. Wow.
That's weird. But okay,
Lemonade,
I mean,
blue mist, mint, orange mint. That's good if you're on a date. You. That's a really good segue. Like both take a hit of mint. This way, breath is good, and then kissing. You know, that's a good.
the thing with this place is that it's a hookah bar, right? So not everybody's gonna be into smoking hookahs.
But all it is steam,
So
right? It's not
that's
like smoke.
no, it's actual smoke.
Really, I thought it's
So,
from a lamp
who,
that's like vapor. Like,
So they put no. They actually put tobacco in the
oh, I
thing.
didn't know that. I didn't know that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's an actual hookah bar.
It's a hookah bar and a hookup spot because they've got bottle service, and we know any place that has bottle service is, wow, this is terrible. I mean, it's not bad if you're going with a bunch of people, but the thing is, how many bottles do you get? If it's one bottle, I mean, I could drink a bottle. I don't anymore. Okay, but in a night I could drink a bottle of Absolute by myself with some juice.
A whole bottle of Absolute.
Easily, easily. You're
That's a
talking about
lot.
yeah. Well, first of all, I'm not a small person. Number one, two, I've
Okay.
got a great
Also, it's a big
tolerance.
bottle.
Three, I am a musician. Four, you're talking about a stretch of time of 6 or 7 hours, not like 2 hours. Couldn't do that in two
Well,
hours.
that's still a lot of that's a lot. Yeah, you're
Uh,
gonna get pretty fucked up.
well, listen, I've gone to parties where we call it north of 35. and north of 35 is more than 35 drinks, but it happens over a period of 7 hours. You know, so the point is, it's just, you don't really need to drink that much, but if you're going with people, you split it.
Yeah.
How many? I would ask you. I don't know if you've been in this situation. How many bottles you think you would need for a group of, let's say, six? It's like four couples or just six friends.
About three. Two bottles at least, depending on what you're drinking. But you need at least two bottles.
Two bottles, let's say three. So you're talking about at least a grand, more than a grand if it's three, you know.
Yeah,
And then
yeah,
this tip, you got to put a tip on that, right?
that's right.
So, and then is there extras? They charge you for like juice and stuff, or is that complimentary?
No, no, nothing is complimentary.
I think if you're spending this much, they could give you like, you
No,
know,
no,
some
nothing
sel.
is complimentary.
Well, I mean, it's seltzer water's got to be. You in charge of a seltzer water.
I mean that's okay. Fine, it's water, but like if you want like juice to go with your drink, guess what? That ain't complimentary.
That's my famous saying. Let me get a gin and juice. That's it. Let me get a gin and juice. Uh, yeah, bourbon whiskey is kind of my thing. Yeah, everything is over 300. You know. Look, you know, I wouldn't mind going
I
there like
mean,
once at night. I can
yeah,
party.
it's not bad. It's definitely a nice place to go. I'm not a big hookah guy. I would rather go to a cigar lounge personally.
Oh, I wouldn't go
But
there. I wouldn't go. I mean, I wouldn't do it now, but I'm saying I wouldn't go there for the smoking. I would go there more for the atmosphere, the music, whoever you're going to meet there,
oh, I see.
especially if
I see what you
I
mean.
was
Yeah,
21. Yeah,
definitely
because I mean,
meeting
look at these people. They're going
girls.
out, they're
Hmm.
having a good time, but like, they're, I mean, there's a reason you go out to these kind of places. Anything
Hmm.
with bottle service,
That's
it's
true.
like, and you know what, the girl, that's the other thing is like, if it's three guys, three girls, the girls are not going to pay. So gotta, you know,
Exactly. Yeah.
but I do like this place. I like how they split it up into like, here's lunch and then we got late night. It really gives a good vertical for a place that can sort
Hmm.
of change and give a whole nother uh, type of people, because daytime is just people want to go to lunch and maybe they would never go to a late night thing. And then the late night people would maybe not go there for lunch because they're like, more like party people. So I like that. And
Sure.
then live
Sure.
music, you add live music to it. Yep.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah,
Yep.
that is
And
good.
and
I
they have a
like it.
catering service. So you talk about verticals, lunch menu, dinner menu, late night service, catering, events. Places like this know how to stay in bit. I mean, aside from COVID, they know how to like really create different vertical streams of revenue.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah. Yep.
Definitely. Yeah. Yeah. Definitely.
I like it.
Wow.
Uh, I wanted to show you this one. It's not a great website, but it's probably one of the best Neapolitan Italian restaurants in New York. It's called
Oh.
Frost.
Okay.
And the reason it's called Frost because it's on Frost
Frost.
Street in Williamsburg. Okay.
Okay.
So they have really good food, surf and turf, uh, clams on the half shell, very Neapolitan, stuffed eggplant. I like the cavatelli with meat sauce. It's very good. Um, just spaghetti carbonara, So
Oh,
if you're
nice.
ever in that area, check
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
out.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's called Frost Restaurant, but that's only because it's on Frost Street. But it's very, very, very good food. You won't be disappointed. They give you a lot. You get
Oh. Okay.
chicken parmesan, you get a big piece of chicken. So, and they don't really hit you over the head. It's pretty affordable.
Oh. Okay. All
Full
right.
wine menu, full bar. So yeah, because I know you're a big fan of like Williamsburg. You like that, but yeah, Humboldt and
That's.
Frost Street. So
I'm gonna check it out actually.
yeah, it's sort of like on the border of Greenpoint, Williamsburg. It's more Williamsburg, but it's sort of like Greenpoint
Oh.
because my family comes from Greenpoint. They're originally from Greenpoint, and she lived a few blocks away, and she was in Greenpoint. But I
Oh.
guess this
Okay.
is maybe Williamsburg just sounds better, or maybe it's on the border, but it's really really good. I think you'll like it. Okay,
Nice.
let's see what is this place. This is now. I'm not a big
I've heard of this.
fan.
I've heard of this place, I think.
Yeah, they used to film a lot of Sopranos episodes here. Uh,
Oh,
I'm
okay.
not a big fan of Little Italy. I'll tell you why. It's a tourist trap, and it's very now. It's like very, very, very Little Italy because it's only like a block and a half. Because it's
That's
just not.
right.
But there's and a lot of the restaurants in Little Italy are tourist traps because they just the food is not good. And I've been to them, and they just not. And the tourists don't know. They're just like, oh, this is good, and they don't know it's good. But this place actually is very, very good. It's on the corner. It's a very big restaurant. There are like two entrances, and it's very affordable. The only thing is they include the tip, and they put their own tip. And I think the reason for that is because I think a lot of tourists were just stiffing them with no tip. So
Oh, I see.
yeah, they just did that because the waiters were.
Well, a lot of actually, a lot of restaurants are doing that nowadays. They just like add the tip
Yeah,
to
because
the stuff.
it's really it's not the restaurant that's getting the money. It's really the waiters getting screwed. But it's
Yeah, that's
very good.
true.
We mostly have the spaghetti carbonara. It's excellent. And because they put prosciutto in it and yeah, all kinds of good appetite. They had all kinds of drink
Yeah.
specialties.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
very good. It's very affordable, and because you look at this. Let's see. I like to have the priciest stuffed menu mushrooms. $9. Calamari. They got
That's
all
very
kinds of
reasonable,
things.
actually.
It is. It is. They got some. They recently have French fries and this stuff because, like I said, it's they got to cater a little bit to the tourists. But things like black broccoli rabe, you know, it's really definitely affordable. It's a good place. It's got great atmosphere. The service is great. It's really nice atmosphere. Just it's really good. So I always recommend a place that I had a good experience with and been
Oh,
there many
damn.
times.
Okay.
hmm Yeah, and
I'm gonna have to check it out.
Puglia is right around the corner, and that's a more well-known place. But I don't think the food is that great there, and they've been there for over 100 years. Puglia's, and at night they have all these parties. Last time we went there was all these girls dancing on the table, like and they were all
Oh,
drunk. I
what?
think it was a bachelorette dinner or dinner party, so we
Oh,
didn't.
okay.
Yeah, we didn't walk in there, but the food in there was not even close. And they've been around 100 years. The food here is much better, I think. So um, yeah, I really I like this a lot. And let's see, oh, they got a COVID thing here, that you could see.
Oh, they're closed.
Let's see, temporarily closed because of COVID. Yeah, probably going to open up again.
Yeah, yeah, probably. You're
But
right.
this is what it looks like inside. I think there's two sides to it. Let's see. Oh, that's just the menu. But here are some of the dishes. Yeah, it's really, really, really good. Everything tastes great. And tablecloths, like they got nice Italian paintings on the walls. The walls are all
Yeah,
painted.
yeah,
Very
totally.
clean. Very
Very
nice
nice.
service. And it's where is this? I guess yeah, in Chinatown, Little Italy.
Also,
This
okay,
is
this is
on
in Italy then.
Bill and Napoli. Oh, that's not the other one. No, I don't know why it says 38th Street. The one maybe they have two locations, but the one that I went to was in Little Italy. It was like on the corner, unless they moved. But very good, very good.
Interesting. Okay, I'm gonna have to
Uh,
check it out if they're still open.
yeah, they're probably going to open up as health and government issued advance.
Yeah, it's probably close to the COVID.
It's probably the COVID. Yeah. Uh,
Okay.
the last one I have is a Rio Grande. Now, I know I bugged you guys to
Oh,
go
I
here.
have heard about this. Yep, I've heard you mention
Well,
this many times.
this is going to bleed into a different episode, and I'll tell you why. Um, Probably the best pickup spot in New York City, in my opinion.
Really?
Yeah, yeah, especially in the summer because what they do in the summer is they open the outside, so there are all these tables outside because it gets
Mm-hmm.
packed inside. It gets really, really packed, and they got two sides.
Yeah.
They got a small side with a small bar, and then they got a other side with the bigger side with the more tables has the small bar, and the smaller side has the bar that goes all the way around, and but they got less tables, and it's really good. It's a Tex-Mex restaurant. So Texas
Oh,
Mexican.
okay.
So it's Mexican food with a little bit of Texas kind of flavor. Let's Take a look at some of the things. The steak is outstanding. It's high quality. It's
Oh wow,
very
that
high.
looks
Like
good.
when you bite into it, it's not like you're chewing on rubber. It's like real tender. And I think two people, if you don't buy alcohol, two people can eat here for like maybe $45 if you don't get alcohol. So you just get two dinners and some like
Ah,
soda.
nice. Okay.
Yeah, and just affordability. They got fresh guacamole, so they make it right in front of you.
Oh, that's nice. That's what I'm
Right,
talking
so it's
about.
not like sitting there and they just throw you a dish. They got different kinds of salsa, hot, mild, medium. They give you the chips. The chips, they don't even charge you for it. They've got these churros. They got these desserts. They got tres leches cake, out of this world.
Wow, that sounds
And
pretty good.
yeah, they got this big giant buffalo with the wings, and they got wings like buffalo. So it's got like that Texas kind of,
Sure, sure, sure.
flair to it. And this is the bar that's in the front. It's the wraparound bar with the smaller to the right here. There's all the tables, and then
Yeah, yeah.
so you see like the Texas boot and everything. So I think this is maybe the Texas side. Yeah, and then the other side is the Mexican side, and this is the Mexican side. So it's
Oh,
bigger.
I see. Okay, okay. That's why they
Yeah,
split it up.
and you could walk through the. They let you walk through the kitchen. You could
Oh,
walk right through the kitchen. You
that's
could go
pretty cool
outside.
actually.
You could go outside and go around. But the bouncers are kind of ball busters for checking IDs and stuff. I mean, they check everybody's ID. I think maybe they're just worried.
I mean that's not a bad that's whatever. I mean, it's
Yeah.
one little inconvenience, but I mean neither
So here's the
nobody
outside.
here.
Here's
Yeah.
the outside.
Oh, that's big.
Yeah. I mean, it looks kind of. I can tell you. I mean, this looks like a sausage party. I don't really like it, but I think sometimes it's just the female to male ratio is like 5 to 1.
Oh
Very good.
wow.
Yeah, good odds. So this goes all around the building. So, you've got this deck here that's just people are out. I used to work right across the street. That's how I know this place. I used to go there for
Oh,
a
that's
lot of
a hell of a
lunches.
place.
Just like walk across the street. It's great. Summertime. They've got these different margaritas. They've got something called prickly pear. And prickly pear is this desert fruit that they make in the desert, they have in the desert, and they make it like frozen. It's very good.
Oh,
So,
nice. Okay.
yeah, this is the Texas side. Uh, yeah, look how
Ah.
packed it gets.
Oh, now we're talking. Look at that. See?
Oh yeah, yeah. You just survey the landscape and do your thing.
Exactly.
Uh, this I don't know what side this is, but it's just it's got like great atmosphere, great food, all kinds. So you're talking about quesadilla, enchilada, fajita, everything, but everything's freshly made. It's not like it doesn't taste like it's been frozen. And when they come out with these hot plates, you got to watch. This plates are so hot, it's like sizzling. Whether it's
Oh, that's
steak or
sizzling.
shrimp,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
like
yeah.
sizzling. It's like they say don't touch the plate. You could touch like the wood, but it's very hot. So it's everything is fresh. It's just great. So you think of like affordability,
Hmm.
great
Hmm.
service, uh, great atmosphere, great food, and it's a great pickup spot
Oh,
and
nice.
different kinds of drinks. So, you know, I mean, I know it was far for us to go for lunch. That's why we never did. But
Yeah, yeah.
it's a great happy hour place. Great for this is all the they got different kinds of beers too, different kinds of tequila.
Oh, not bad, not bad. Okay, that's a big menu.
I don't speak Spanish, but I speak drink language, Spanish.
Yeah, yeah. Uh-huh.
Pitcher, you can get pitcher of Cosmo beer, sangria. Ah, red or white. You get the white sangria, the red sangria, and then they got all the different wines, Italian wines, red wines, rosé, sparkling wine. You got a variety here. I mean,
Oh, definitely. It's pretty good. Looks pretty good too. I mean, it's a long menu. It's very. They have a lot of exactly as you said. They have a lot of variety, and I mean the crowd looks good. I mean, not now obviously, but uh, the crowd definitely looks.
it is, and there's a lot of girls that go there for like birthday parties, and because I know they're like taking pictures, and somebody gets balloons and a present, and and it's a little like celebration type thing. They get a table for like 10, and they put the tables together, and it's good. And they drink a lot, they're loud, but it's fun. And then you could sort of like, if you're there with your friends, you could just ease on in. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Be careful what I say on here.
Exactly. I mean, especially when this is a
Well,
public thing, and
I
if some particular person might listen to it, and you
well,
might get in trouble.
I'm a born again good citizen, so
Sure.
I can only reminisce and remember.
Uh,
But I
but
mean,
you can't reminisce and remember too loudly, because then the other
no,
people might
not
hear
not
you.
to in my mind, but I
It's
could
in your mind.
reminisce, and I could still go there with my friends and enjoy. You know,
Exactly, and you can live through someone else, basically.
yes, that's
Like,
pretty
yeah,
much what I do.
like your very own. You know,
Pretty much that's what I do these days. I live through my friends, and
you live
yeah,
vicariously through other people.
yeah. I don't like to ask too many questions, but I live more through them. Like I say, hey, you should try this because it's a good spot or
Yeah,
it's
and then you
good
should go
food.
talk to her, because look at her. That's basically your thing.
Well, I'm just like I said. At this point, I'm pretty much a priest, so
Oh wow.
life is life is over for me. Anyway, here's the tres leches cake. It's out of this world. It's so moist, and it's just
Oh
melts
yeah,
in your
that
mouth.
looks good.
It is excellent. So you can they're big on Instagram and even celebrate St. Pat's, even though it's Mexican. And look at all these different types of drinks.
Oh wow.
Yeah, they got all different kinds. It's just fun. I like a place that has life. Look at all this color. You know, is the hot wings. They got hot wings. They got Valentine's special if you go on Valentine's. Um, it's just I don't know. It's just I feel like it's like fun. So um, you know that's that's it. And they host events, and that's it. That's
Wow. I like that. That's a nice place. That's definitely something I want to go to. When things get a little bit better, especially when you can like hang out
oh yeah.
outside.
I mean, this would be a disaster for COVID right here. This is just like
That would be a breeding ground. That's not what you want to do.
well, this is the reason why most places close is because people, when you go out, it's weird to be socially distanced and socialize. You can't. It's and as people drink alcohol, they get louder, so
And that gets too bitter, and
well they when they talk, their breath, they travel farther because you're talking louder. So everything's sort of like you're breathing out, and everybody, when they drink, they get on top of each other. They're close. So it's just impossible
hmm
to have, even if you had restaurants and spaced out, you can't really have this. Even outside, it's pretty risky, but I miss it. I miss the whole social thing. COVID really was a hard hit in a lot of ways, but you look to the future, and this is one of the places that I'm definitely going to go to and celebrate maybe something, anything. But
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
I like it, and everybody's always nice. There's a lot of places you go to, and the food is good, and the atmosphere is nice, and then the service is just terrible. The attitude, or they just ignore you, and it's just
Yep.
I never go back. That is a big thing. I mean, the food is important, but the service sucks. I never go back. Never, never. It's just
Oh, I
not.
see.
You're paying for it. So that's it. That's all I have. I'm sure there's lots of other good restaurants, and we could always do a part two.
Yep,
But
definitely.
this has been very helpful, especially people thinking about get back into going out to eat, especially if they want to go to nice places and with good food. It's recommended from me. It's recommended from you, and we've got no reason to mislead anybody.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, look, we went through a lot of restaurants. Not some of these restaurants that we talked about today. Like, it's not something you can just like, yeah, walk into. But if you're someone, who wants to, looking to take his girlfriend or fiance or wife out to a nice restaurant, then we have those options too. So I think we have I think we have best of both worlds, right? We have the best of um like the middle range restaurants that really most people can go to, with little notice. And then we also talked about like the high end restaurants, right? Where like you wouldn't take your first or second or third day, but um, You could definitely have sit down and have a great meal. So uh yeah, man, it was good. It was
Yeah,
a lot
this
of
is
good information. And
sure, sure. Covered a lot. We're gonna have this episode come out in a few days after I do some editing, but it's been very helpful, and I really want to thank you for joining me for your first episode, because I think a
yeah,
lot of people I'm going to send this out to who are foodies are really going to get some good information here, and it's just been I don't know, it's been a lot of fun. I want to thank you for joining me.
thanks for having me, man. Appreciate it.